Hello, and thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Today, I titled this message, The Enemy in Plain View. The Enemy in Plain View. This may be an individual or a group. This may be someone you know or someone you don't know. This could be some just entity, if you will. But for whatever reason, this individual or entity is no longer flying under the radar, no longer hiding, no longer covering up, no longer being secretive, but being quite bold. They are in your face. They're flying above the radar. They are in plain sight. Now, before you were able to get some things done, you were able to get some paperwork, be able to build up some alliances, talk with various people, get a strategy going, a blueprint, if you will, on dealing with the person, the issues, the concerns that may even be surrounding that person or group. But now there's this boldness that's coming from the enemy. You didn't expect it. You didn't expect this person to come out and actually tell you the truth. You didn't expect this person to come to you with an apology. Wait a minute. This wasn't a part of the plan, Nicole. I thought this person was going to stay in hiding for a while. I thought this person was going to, keep up some mess like they always do. But now they're being really nice. Be guarded. Be guarded. That's my advice. Anytime someone who is a known enemy, someone who was acting real mean-spirited towards you, is acting polite out the clear blue, acting very considerate, they know something, okay? They know something. They feel in some kind of way empowered. This definitely happens with a narcissist who at one point was powerless, but gained his or her power because now I know something about you. Okay. Now I know that there is a plan to, let's say, get rid of someone, overthrow them, take away their position, their status, to get some people kicked out of group. But we knew the enemy. I could hear somebody in the spirit. We knew the enemy. We saw the enemy. We, had all sorts of information that said, okay, this person is the marked one. But then you find out that, wow, this person is being quite bold in what they're saying and what they're doing. And it's throwing you off balance, off track. You even want to believe that they are actually on the right side with you, on the good side. But don't be too trusting. And sometimes they got somebody else that is working the dirty the dirty plan. Somebody else who's watching you closely while they're smiling. Somebody else who's taking care of all things that are unrighteous, ungodly, and basically working out a plan to destroy you while they're in your face distracting you. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This sort of thing is very complicated for some individuals, depending on where you work, who you're affiliated with. And if you just know that this is how some operations handle things. Okay. Now, for the average Joe who doesn't have much time on his or her hands, doesn't have much assets, doesn't see how bringing you down is going to get them too much of anything, they're not going to think this deeply. But a person who has lots of money in the pot, a person who has assets, a person who is in a very powerful position and they feel threatened by you in some way, they're going to come up with some very interesting ways to get you off their tail, to win you as a friend when they know that you consider them to be a foe. And they know that they cannot win this battle by being mean-spirited, argumentative, physically abusive, and anything else. But if they've already exposed themselves by being this way with you, they've got to do something that's going to flip the script, turn things around, and ultimately win. That's what they're after. They want to win. They want to get something from you. They want to just do any number of things just so long as they come out ahead. So this sudden change in plans, this person who's suddenly being so nice, once again, you've got to be guarded. Don't trust them. Don't give them your money. Don't give them information. Just because they ask, there's nothing that says that you got to answer every single question somebody presents. There's nothing that says that, if you don't do this, then all this bad stuff is going to come upon you. Well, some people may make good on their threats, but sometimes you got to look at any information that you have. Is it worth giving up? Because if somebody plans on destroying you, whether you give information or don't give information, or somebody plans on getting the upper hand on you, it doesn't really matter how nice you behave or what you give them. At the end of the day, the enemy's going to destroy you. Okay? So I know you're going to take me out, so you might as well just go ahead on and do it. But one thing about it, I'm not going to give up this. I'm not going to give up that. You see, that's where mentally, physically, spiritually, what have you, you have to have standards dealing with the enemy who is suddenly being very nice. I can't stand that word now. I used to like that word, but I don't like that word too much now. Because what I'm finding is that the enemy's using words like nice to pretty much trick folk. So when I hear somebody say, oh, she's so nice, I'm like, no, you got to give me more than just nice. Okay. When somebody says, well, suddenly he is being so nice. Well, isn't that a red flag? Well, I don't know. I mean, because, and then they try to justify all this niceness. But maybe he's just being nice in the meantime because he is just in a good mood for now. But is he going to still be that nice person tomorrow, next week? You got to sit with some folks for a while to find out what's really going on. You've got to interview folks around them to see if their personality is consistent across the board. You've got to dig for some information, if you will. Because all before, once again, you were my enemy. You couldn't stand me. You were getting all sorts of people to do A, B, and C. And now suddenly you're nice. Right? No, I'm not breaking bread with an individual who's going to, 1 minute be very mean-spirited, ugly, downright disrespectful, and then turn around and be so nice. No. I know, once again, that people who tend to be this way, they're after something. And you have every right to feel that in your spirit. A matter of fact, God himself over the years, he has alerted me. There was a person who I didn't even see them coming, didn't know that they were showing up, anything. But I felt in the spirit that this individual was still up to no good. This would be an example of that audio that I recorded about the fight went into hiding. We got these individuals who they got beef with you, but it went into hiding. Well, right now, nobody's doing anything and they haven't been doing anything. Doesn't mean that they forgot. Doesn't mean that they forgive you. Doesn't mean that they're okay and all right with you. You see? So now we got this person who they've come out of the hiding and they're being nice. Right? They have stopped doing all of this dirt, but yet, should I trust this person? You see? That is a question that some individuals have when suddenly a person is being so considerate. You see, and you have, once again, every right to question these sorts of things. And people around you who keep pushing you into something, knowing full well that this person has a long history of being your enemy, you are not going to be able to trust them either. What is the benefit of this person pushing you into a connection, relationship, tie to an individual who has been maybe not mean to you, but mean to others around you? Why is it that you're so adamant? You should ask these questions. Why is it that you're so adamant, mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, manager, what have you, on getting this person here? What is it about them that you trust or like or appreciate so much? Listen for the answer. Sometimes the answer is just not good enough. A lot of times people don't realize that their worth is so much more than what they even consider their own worth to be. Do you realize how much you're worth? Okay. Do you realize that there's people that have never gotten what you got? I mean, so maybe that's why this person decided to start being nice to you, because they're thinking, hey, there's something to being friends with this person. Okay, but still, do you want somebody in your circle that's being friends with you just because they realize your worth? You should have known my worth when you first met me. Come on. You should have known my worth when I told you I'm a child of God. You should have known my worth before you decided to disrespect me, disrespect my family members, my friends, what have you. So now that there's some dollars attached to me, or now that I know this celebrity or that one, or now that I've moved over here and I've done this, that, and the other, now you want to be my friend? Get out of here. But when I was broke, busted, and disgusted, ooh, Jesus, you talked about me. You called me names. Come on, I'm telling somebody's business. You were so disrespectful and foul. You physically abused and used me. And now that I look the way I look, now that I have what I have, now you want to come around? Oh, no. I plead the blood of Jesus. You see? Some folks say, well, I just don't have the energy or the time or the patience to be thinking deeply about people and all this being guarded. And, well, that's on you. But we have some folks in this network that they're dealing with some very powerful people on a day-to-day basis. We got some folks they got some people in the family that know how to strong arm some folk to get their way. We got some manipulators, some very slick individuals who've studied books, who've earned accolades for being so doggone deceptive. So, those individuals who are around all these sorts of people, they're going to think deeply like this. Maybe this message doesn't apply to you because you don't deal with the types of folks that some of these people deal with. And so when you got folks that, once again, are showing up in your circle and they are clever and charming and, just wealthy and whatever they got that appeals to you. But you know that this person has a track record of being mean-spirited to a number of folks, in addition to you, or maybe just those people over there. You still ought to be guarded. Guarded with your children, guarded with your household, guarded with your finances, okay? Guarded with your conversation. That's a big one. Because when you are in, let's say, an industry where there are a lot of people having all sorts of conversations, sooner or later, their interest is going to be in you, the new person, or their interest is going to be in you because they see what you have or how you dress or how you talk to others. And so when their interest comes swinging your way, and you know that this person, or you heard through the grapevine that this person tends not to get along with others, or this person tends to badmouth everyone who they who they connect to. Okay, you don't need to be all buddy-buddy. I don't care how much you have in common with that person. Sometimes people are collecting information on you to use it later on for their gain, for their benefit, or maybe just to have one up on you. Okay. Once again, we're being very mindful of our conversations with some folks. If you're a believer and they know you're a believer, now you really got to be guarded. There's something different about you. Or they know that you have a husband and they've seen that husband and they're like, ooh, he's nice looking, but yet they don't have a husband. You see. But she acted like she really wasn't into my conversation until she saw my husband. Or she acted so mean until she saw that I got this check. All before she was talking about how, she didn't like my kind of people. She didn't tell me that, but she told some other folks. But then your kind of people ended up getting A, B, and C, or knows somebody who she is a fan of. You see, All of these things are things that we think about. All of these things are things that we just take and we say, okay, no more. I'm not going to be that one that gets played. I'm going to draw the line in the sand. I'm going to tell this person going forward. I know that, we've got this history, and I know that you have been acting, quite polite and professional and so forth, and I appreciate it. But going forward, though, understand. And then you tell them whatever your boundaries, your standards, or whatever it is that you want them to know. And by doing that, you're letting them know, I see you. I see you. And I'm not going to play this little game with you, whatever that game might be. Some folks like to play mental games, as I said in another audio, and other ones, well, it's not even about mental games. It's just about opportunity and however they can get that opportunity. So once again, an enemy suddenly being real nice, an enemy suddenly having conversation for you. Now, we know that there are those people that have changed, right? I've come across those. They really have changed, but they had to go through a whole lot to get to a point where they were finally, respectful, polite, decent individuals toward me, toward my loved ones. But if I don't see where somebody has gone through a lot, they don't have a testimony, they can't back up as to why they're being, the way they're being so positive, yes, I'm still guarded. Okay. So I thank you for taking the time out to listen. Once again, some food for thought. Please do check the description box for anything that might be of interest. You've been listening to YouTube NM Enterprise 7. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and we also welcome giving. Blessings to you.